Hello and welcome. This video tutorial seeks to help you better understand how to operate our product in the flight simulator. Please do not apply any of this in real life, it is just a simulation adaptable to your computer conditions and our wishes you could enjoy this game. Our airplanes can take the flight planner data from the main menu when you create it. Also, you can create the plan using the FMC. For MSFS 2024, you can make the flight plan on the tablet and send it to the FMC. Our aircraft has a default FMC. Therefore, it uses the navigation information preset in the flight simulator. As shown here, you can create it from the main menu, but this time, we're showing how to create it in our FMC. In this example, we create the flight plan between Pamplona and Asturias in Spain. If the airplane starts the flight on the platform, it will be in cold and dark mode so that it proceeds in its ignition configuration. Use the checklist option, including the flight simulator, or we suggest the tablet, selecting pilot icon and then selecting ready to start engines or engines started. Here we energize the airplane just by clicking and switching, as you can see. To start engines, follow this sequence. Open fuel pumps, switch bleeds, start APU, and, most importantly, the sequence in ignition is shown here. After APU starts, the engine's ignition buttons will pass to the armed light. Continue clicking on ignition con to engage the system. Don't forget to activate hydraulic switches, all on. If not, the brakes, gear and flaps don't work. When all is ready, push the start engine button, as shown here. Remember to review the engine information to be sure it's all right. If this step is not as shown here, any step may have been made incorrectly. When the N2 indicator passes over 20%, go to the pedestal and click the red lever as shown here. This will open the mixture for the engine. It's also used to shut down the engine when the flight ends. Just click down in every lever. After the engines start completely, push the ignition buttons off to avoid issues during flight, such as a shutdown. To start the taxiing procedure, set the flaps to one position, light the taxi lights, and remove the parking brakes. This airplane has the parking brake located on the right side of the captain's seat. As it's very complicated to reach there easily, we recommend moving the view to Instrument 04, CNTRL+4 and MSFS 2020 in the camera and removing it as indicated here.
Pamplona Tower Air Nostrum 658 at runway 15 ready for departure IFR to Asturias.
Air Nostrum 658 altimeter 29.8 wind 100 at 8. Cleared for takeoff runway 15.
Cleared for takeoff runway 15 Air Nostrum 658.
Seventy knots, 80 knots, V1, rotate, V2,
Good day.
118.275 Air Nostrum 658. Goodbye.
After takeoff, the autopilot must be configured. First, press Nav to arm the navigation. This should generate an HSI change, as shown here, and the advised lock will appear in white in the PFD. Now, engage the autopilot button.
Flight level 180.
As the EAS has
Climb
been
and maintain
activated,
flight level
press down the
180 Air
knob
Nostrum
speed to modify
658.
the value and adjust the speed to climb. We recommend 200 knots, as shown here. Understanding how the EAS works is essential because this is not an autothrottle. In this graphic, we explain it. It involves changing altitude while maintaining a speed as constant as possible. To do this, you set a target altitude and the speed at which you want to keep your climb. The higher the power, the greater the climb angle, as the aircraft must balance speed and climb to the correct angle to reach the desired altitude. If the power is high, the pitch will be too high. Otherwise, it will be lower, or it may even have to descend to reach the desired speed if the power is insufficient. Here, the speed is adjusted to reduce pitch. After the indicated altitude has been reached, keep in mind that you will control the speed, especially at cruise level. Again, the new altitude objective is 18,000 feet, as shown in this example flight. The procedure is the same. Select the altitude and adjust the speed you wish to climb, click the EAS button, then move the power throttle to adjust the pitch. In this example, we show the behavior of EAS based on the movement of the power throttle levers. At maximum power, the pitch is high. At less power, it's reduced. When the ILS frequency appears in the PFD, change to approach mode on your HSI, as shown here. This will activate the first part of the approaching system. If the ILS frequency does not appear in your FMC, you must input it manually. It's possible the developer forgot to include the frequency in scenery, but with security, it's in the flight simulator. Just search for it on websites or in the airport information and input it manually.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors ILS Yankee runway 29er approach Air Nostrum 658.
Don't forget lights, passenger advice, flaps, landing gear, etc. Like other models of our airplanes, this model has flight attendant voices. Here, we use it in manual mode. However, you can use the option automatic, and the sounds will appear in every case.
Señoras y señores pasajeros, nos encontramos próximos a aterrizar en el aeropuerto de destino. Asegúrese de que la ventanilla esté abierta, La mesa de la bandeja esté cerrada y el respaldo del asiento esté completamente en posición vertical. Guarde el reposapiés, la pantalla de video y el auricular, abroche y ajuste el cinturón de seguridad. Gracias.
Air Nostrum 658, you are 900 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 6,400 feet altimeter 29.86.
Climb and maintain 6,400 feet Air Nostrum 658.
This airplane's approach needs a little help, similar to EA's climb or descent. To keep the glide slope guidance vertical, it's necessary to adjust the speed to keep the pitch required to get the approach perfect. Up or down controls are unnecessary, at least no sudden movements. Just increment or reduce the power, and the airplane will take the guidance normally.
Nostrum 658, wind 221 at Niner. Cleared to land runway 29er.
Cleared to land runway 29er Air Nostrum 658.
400.
Minimums.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Air Nostrum 658, contact ground on 121.705.
121.705 Air Nostrum 658. Goodbye.
Señoras y señores pasajeros, bienvenidos al aeropuerto de destino. Por favor, mantenga abrochado el cinturón de seguridad y no se levante de su silla, hasta tanto la aeronave no esté detenida completamente en la terminal. Abandonaremos la aeronave en orden de fila por llamado. No olvide que el contenido del portaequipaje superior se pudo mover durante el vuelo, tenga cuidado al abrirlo. Pasajeros en tránsito con conexión a otro destino, por favor diríjanse al mostrador de la aerolínea en este aeropuerto. Nuestro personal gustosamente les ayudará en el proceso. El comandante y la tripulación de este vuelo, les agradecemos haber volado con nosotros. Les deseamos una feliz estancia.